a stronger team, Ale. We're bringing back the whole Germany-Netherlands rivalry. So if we do compare them to what we've seen from the Germans, who's looking like a stronger team?
Well, it's hard to turn away from the performance of the Netherlands yesterday and how quickly they were able to turn defending into attacking and how quickly they got numbers forward and how dynamic they were in 1v1 situations. I think one of the limitations that I thought the Netherlands had coming into this tournament is that in the attack, I did not think that they had enough game changes. Well, if we're going to take yesterday's match against Sweden as the evidence, then I was 100% wrong. Although I do think that there are some limitations instead for this team. So in the totality of the play and in the totality of who they are as a team, I'm still going to take Germany over the Netherlands, but it's hard to ignore what the Netherlands were able to do against Sweden yesterday.
I quite liked the Netherlands yesterday because I thought in the first game against Japan, I didn't think they were great overall. I think giving up the lead twice and almost becoming quite negative in their game, I didn't really enjoy that. But that game yesterday was ruthless because I saw a world where, Sweden will do a good job. Their attackers in a way that do, and Isak Gyökeres is going to cause them problems. And it was goal after goal after goal after goal. And I liked as well that Robbie comes in for Somerville, a completely different type of player, but has huge impact. I think his first goal with the strength and then the set, the speed and the finish, I was like, okay, is this the way the Dutch are going to do it? And when we see their upside, they do look really, really good. And you could argue that the players in the Netherlands team are in better form right now, relatively speaking, than some of those Germans trying to find theirs.
So you're taking the Netherlands?
I'm taking the Netherlands.
He's taking the Netherlands.
Yes.
All right, well, speaking of the Netherlands, a lot of their players were born in the Netherlands, and so are Curacao players, and they absolutely made their tiny island nation proud yesterday as they held Ecuador to a 0-0 draw. That means that Curacao, now the smallest nation to ever get a point at the World Cup. They were already the smallest nation to qualify for a World Cup. And Natum, this is a feel-good story that we love.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, especially given the fact that they just got hit for 7 the game before. So who would have thought that going into the next game, they would find a way to have a clean sheet. But, when Room's having to make 15 saves in a game, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but I think...
Only Shaka Hislop could do that.
Listen, yeah, that's a fact. And I think his record's a bit different to Tim Howard's because he kept a clean sheet, but Tim didn't.
Eventually, the US lost that game.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a crazy amount of work for them to sort of go through. And I think I was disappointed in some ways from Ecuador because I expected more. And don't get me wrong, Curacao were very much on the back foot. But the fact that they ended up getting those points, and it's a reminder of so many different types of stories at this World Cup. Because for them, they're celebrating that 0-0 like it's it's a 1-0 winner against a giant. But for them, that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a win for Curacao. There you have it, him tying Tim Howard's record for the most saves ever in a FIFA World Cup match. But as Natum pointed out, the USA went on to lose that game against Belgium, whereas Eloy Room managed to get a point for his nation. And much like Vozinha, this seems to be the World Cup of goalkeepers. Well, much like Vozinha, who absolutely shot up on social media right after and got about 10 million followers, just have a look at now. Well, he started out with about 100,000 followers. That's almost in and around the entire population of Curacao. I'm literally looking at his social media right now. It's not quite on the Vozinha levels that he now has 15 million, but he has 945,000 and climbing.
I've seen something. I just looked at her phone. She's not following him. So you're not part of
Okay, well, I'm going to follow now. Maybe I'll follow now.
Too good to follow him as well, yeah?
Guys, I cannot, because please remember Curacao knocked out Jamaica. So there's a little Caribbean rivalry there, and I'm still very salty.
You realize that I have no idea what you just said. All of which you just said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I do know,
social
however...
media followers?
Yeah, all of that. All of that.
Ali's not on Instagram.
Or any of that stuff, to be honest with you. Call me old school. I don't know. I live in the real world. What can I tell you? Yeah. In any case, because all those followers, whatever, they're all going to disappear after this World Cup is over. The dream is coming to an end. But I'm a beacon of positivity, and I would tell you it's an outstanding performance from Curaçao. However, I do think that this is far more about Ecuador and not being able to win a game that was a must-win for them. It was such a disappointment. You alluded to it, but it was such a disappointment to see Ecuador to struggle to score goals. But it's not a surprise given the fact that they've only scored 14 goals in 18 qualifiers in South America. That trend continues. This team should be doing much better. They are not. Great for Curaçao, awful for Ecuador.